everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do first impressions on the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. This has been getting some serious hype for the last couple of months, and I picked it up in Omara's pharmacy in Bursicane a little while ago when I was home, and I'm really excited to try it. I've had it for quite a while, but because I wanted to film this video I haven't actually used it. So I got it in the shade Light Beige 010, which was the lightest I could find. I'm not sure if that's the lightest in general, it's just the lightest that was on the stand in Omara's. So it cost me $7.90, which I thought was a pretty decent price for a drugstore foundation. So this is obviously what it looks like. This is what it looks like. It has a little dropper on here. Oh, it looks a little bit too dark for me. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this half of my face with the Beauty Blender and this half with the brush, and we'll just see what the coverage is like. So it says on it that it's lightweight, it's non-oily texture, it provides a full coverage, long-lasting effect without a mask effect. I don't know what that means. It creates an even complexion and has high definition for camera, and I have to shake it before I use it. Okay, so I'm gonna shake it and I'm gonna put a few drops onto my little thing. Okay, so each drop doesn't actually have that much foundation in it. You can see there that it's quite runny, even though this looks so dirty in this, but it just kind of scratched. So it looks quite runny, which means it's not quite thick, I wouldn't think. So let's just go in. I don't have primer on, but I have moisturizer on. Okay. It smells quite nice. Like it has like a little bit of perfume, but nothing major. Obviously as well, you can see that my skin is breaking out so badly, so it will really test the coverage. It looks quite dewy so far, not really mattifying. Be interesting to see what it's like when it dries. I'm just going back. I'm looking into my viewfinder to do this now, so I look in my mirror in a minute properly. It definitely looks a little bit too dark for me. So it's like it's probably about 2 shades too dark for me. I don't know if you can tell, like with my neck, it's probably just a little bit too dark. I'm really impressed with the coverage though. Once it dries, I don't know if you can see, but it does go matte, kind of like this. I'm really impressed. That was only one layer with my brush. I'm really impressed so far. And I kind of wasn't expecting to be. I don't know why, but I think because when a product gets so much hype, like it takes a lot to impress me, because I'm like, it better be absolutely amazing. So far I really like this. It's really evened out my skin tone, and what I mean by that is that like the redness and stuff isn't like the redness that's all like over here and stuff. You can't really see that through here, which I'm very impressed with. Okay, let's do the Beauty Blender side. And also, it didn't take all of the foundation. There is still more on there that I could go back, and I probably will go back in a minute. So I'm just going to put another drop or two onto this. Go at one drop and see how we get on. Okay, it's definitely way darker. Can you see the difference in my skin tone? It's probably about 3 shades too dark for me. But that's okay when I have my Body Shop drops of lightning drops, because it just takes the shades down. So as you can see, I'm going to actually bring them in a little bit closer. So as you can see, like, it hasn't covered my spots or anything completely. It's given me a good coverage. It's definitely a high coverage, but it's not full coverage at all. Yeah, it's kind of settling into little dry patches. I have to say, I am quite impressed. I think that just because it's a little bit dark, it's kind of throwing me off a bit. Need to blend it into my hairline a bit more. I definitely think I prefer this side that I did with the brush rather than the Beauty Blender. I think I got higher coverage. It definitely is matte, because it's definitely dried matte. It feels very light on my skin, which is great because it's quite high coverage, but it feels very light on my skin. It does feel a little bit drying on my forehead, but my forehead at the moment is very dehydrated anyways. Yeah, I'm really impressed. So now I'm going to go on and do the rest of my makeup as I normally would, and I'm not going to powder it because it is supposed to be a mattifying foundation, so I'm not going to powder it just to see how matte it really is, and I'll come back and have a chat to you then. Okay, I'm back with a little bit of makeup on. Very simple makeup, literally brows, lipstick and mascara. I didn't put any product on my face. I haven't powdered it, I haven't put blush, contour, anything at all on it. I like the look of it this side. I don't really like the look of it this side, probably just because like I do have lip blemishes obviously, but I don't know, I'm not 100% convinced. Oh, there we go, focus. There we go. I'm not 100% convinced in it yet. I'm gonna let it sink into my skin and see how we get on. I'll check back in a few hours. I have to run up to the bank now before it closes, and so I'll talk to you in a few hours. Okay, so it's about 8 hours later now, so I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see what the foundation is looking like now. Okay, so it's starting to break down around my nose, around here. It's definitely broken down around my chin as well. It's kind of gone from like my jaw area, which makes sense because I was at my desk like this. It hasn't oxidized at all, which is great. I do feel like it feels like it's sitting on my skin. Also, you can probably see how oily it is around here. I've never come across a foundation that it hasn't done this with. So yeah, what I find is that like, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but like on my nose specifically, it makes me look like I've got such open pores, or I probably have them, but it really highlights them. Now I don't know if I'd used my NYX Shine Killer primer, would that have, sorry my camera went dead there, but what I was saying is that if I had my silicone base, I think that would have like either filled in the open pores or like kind of just hidden them better or blurred them, whereas I find this foundation kind of highlights them a little bit more, which is obviously not something you want. I think the coverage is really good. I think one thing it's great at is color correcting. Like here's my thing with this foundation, and I'm sorry I keep looking above, it's just I'm looking at it in there even though my mirror is here. Anyway, one thing I find about this foundation is really good at like color correcting. Like all of this side, you can't really actually tell how red my face is because it's actually quite red, especially this side. I think it definitely applies much better with the brush compared to the beauty blender, so I'll definitely be using it with the blush brush from now on. Also, this was only one layer, so I'd be very interested to see what it's like once I build it up a bit. My first impressions are quite good. I'm excited to use it again, and I'm excited to use it with powder. Considering it's been about 8 hours, this is very little oil, considering I've no primer, no powder or anything like that. It's literally just the foundation. I do feel like it was tight. I could definitely feel it on my forehead, but that's because my forehead is very dry and dehydrated at the moment. So that's kind of like my skin's issue, not the foundation's issue. Yeah, I mean, I like the foundation. I'm not going to say it's an absolute fantastic one on first impression, but I really do like it. I much prefer this side to this side. That's maybe it's because I use the brush this side and the beauty blender this side. Maybe it's because my skin is better this side. I definitely feel like when I was on Snapchat, my skin looked really good on camera, whereas like it looked better on camera than it did in real life. This camera here is too good. This is showing up everything, but yeah, I do like it. And for $7.90, I think it was $7.90. Yeah, for $7.90, I think it's a great little investment, and I can't wait to put in a few drops of the Body Shop's lightning drops. How many times can I say drops? I can't wait to use the lightning drops to make it my perfect shade and to layer it up a bit and use my brush on my whole face. So yeah, I think my first I'll zoom back out now because you don't need to see this. So my first impressions are quite good overall. There are some pros, some cons, like all foundations. I think that it's definitely a high coverage foundation, not necessarily a full coverage foundation. It is a little bit buildable, which I like. It's quite light. It's probably the lightest of the higher coverage foundations that I've tried, which is great, especially like if you want to work or anything like that. I do feel like if you have dry skin, it won't suit you because like my forehead's quite dry, and I feel like it kind of clung to that area and kind of like I could feel it like sinking into my skin. If you're oily skinned, then it would probably suit you. Just make sure to use a proper primer or powder. I am impressed with it and I will continue to use it. Sometimes when I try a foundation, I know in the beginning I just don't like it, like the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat. Is that what it's called? Whatever it's called, I really don't like it, and I've honestly tried it about a million different ways with different primers, different powders, and I just hate it. Whereas with this one, I think it does have potential, I really do, and I'm excited to try it more and kind of like use it different ways, see how long it lasts. When I'm like, say today for example, I was going into town and I had like jobs to do around the house, whereas I'd be interested to see how it lasts on a day when I'm like gone to an event or something like that, to see how it holds up under that kind of a I was gonna say under that pressure, but it's just foundation. So yeah, for $7.90 I think it's definitely worth trying. I'd love to know if any of you have tried this foundation and what your thoughts on it were. I will be doing a full review over my blog after a few weeks of me trying it, so you can check back with my blog to see what my final thoughts on it are. If you like these first impression videos, please do let me know. I don't know whether you like the first impression videos or you just like a review at the end with a demo. Please do let me know in the comments, and if you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, because that's how I judge if people like it or not. And if you're new here, please do subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.